This program is financially supported by the fundings from the European Commission.
You are listening to the Ebu Access Cast, the first official podcast from the EBU about assistive technology for blind and partially sighted people. Welcome to the third episode of the Ebu Access Cast. My name is Mario Percinic, and tonight with me I have two hosts or co-hosts instead of one. So I have Jakob from Estonia.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
And we have a new person finally on the show, the third member of our team, Bart from Belgium.
Hello guys, great to be here.
Yeah, great to have you finally. We hope to get Birker the next time as well, so we are all four of us. But that's how it goes with the podcasting. Sometimes someone is not available.
Yes,
because we are so busy.
So Bart, who are you?
Yeah, Bart, who are you? What are you doing over here?
I am working, so I'm born blind. I'm 38 years old. I'm from Belgium. And I work as an accessibility consultant for several years. Within EBU, I was helping out the wonderful work of Karine, what she did with the Web Accessibility Directive. I assisted her sometimes, and I'm in the Technology Commission for quite a while now. I'm afraid I don't add too much to the diversity of this panel, because we're all a bit of the same, not too old boys talking technology.
That's the stereotype usually, yeah.
So we might want to open this up if there is any lady or any other person wanting to join, as not necessarily every time, but it would be great to have some guests also. Yeah. So I would say get in touch.
Yeah, of course. Actually, speaking of the publicity for our podcast, we are slowly getting recognized by various companies, including the VFO. So we should say thank you very much for the donation which we received from VFO since our last podcast.
Yes, use their products. They're very good.
Yes, and use JAWS for Windows.
Exactly.
As it's one of the best screen readers. Besides NVDA. Haha.
Well, and VoiceOver, because I bought myself a Mac a few weeks ago, and I'm now a VoiceOver user.
You went to the other side.
Yeah, I did.
The dark side. You went on the dark side.
Why? Why is it the dark side? Because I need to make music, and I did need a stable laptop, and none of the options I looked for didn't really fit my needs, because a lot of Windows devices usually do look very good on paper, but not very so on the real life. And Macs have proven their quality so far. So yeah, I did go to the Mac. So, but I'm still using Windows though. So I'm running a virtual machine besides. So as Mac OS. So I'm still on Windows too.
Okay. Did it also have to do with your work as an audio editor? Do you do that on Apple or?
Yeah, I do that on Mac. Yeah, on the Apple side.
All right. Well, good luck with your new Mac. Is it MacBook? Or it's a desktop?
No, it's a MacBook Pro now. It's because it needs to be portable. With my work, I usually need to do stuff not at home all the time, not at where my usual gear usually is. So I need to take stuff on the road, and that's why I needed a laptop.
Yeah. Well, that's nice to know. Just small message to our listeners that basically we are now recording last episode before the summer holiday. So in August we are going to be away and rest for a while. But then in September we are going to be back with lots of good news and changes for the listeners. We are going to have also a new intro for the podcast, and so on and so on. So basically stay tuned with us. Until then, we are also going to tweet about our news and stuff like that. So keep an eye on.
Yes,
on us.
things are going to be happening. We're like a newborn project and thing. Things do get settled in, and stuff needs to be done. But we're eventually getting there, so we're gonna be the best podcast out there, probably.
Wow, we got a mention already on CNN.
Yep, we did. We definitely did.
Yeah, that was a kind of a surprising, but it was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we are slowly getting recognized, which is really good. And thanks to EBU and all the guys behind for that. All right, so shall we slowly go to check what's happening around the tech industry for the last weeks?
And now, accessibility in the news.
Yeah, we got the news from Apple, and it's related to the assistive technology because Apple announced that it's developing a wearable to help deaf and blind travelers. Have you read the story, guys?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think?
Well, first of all, it's a patent that they registered, and as this is something that Apple does quite a lot, so it's not sure that it will be a real product. They patent many things, including this new technology. So they did not really announce a new device yet, as far as I understand. What they want to help with is with orientation, which is always good. And what I liked is that they don't only develop sound solution, which we need our ears already for orientation in general and not for our support. They were thinking of smart clothing, something that would buzz, or I don't know exactly how they want to do it, but at least it would not use your ears or your hands, which are already in use when I move. So that was something I liked about it.
What I do find fascinating is I don't know, because it's still patented only, and we don't know what it's gonna end up being. But Apple, if it's gonna end up producing something wearable, something special like an aid or assistive device, because Apple hasn't done it before. They haven't produced a special device, or actually they haven't produced a special app per se as well for visually impaired people. They have, or any disabled people, they have produced and made accessible lots of services and systems, which is great. But they haven't entered the assistive device market directly with their own device. And if they're going to do this is interesting. Or maybe they're going to implement this technology to a new product they're going to release to the mainstream market. What I do actually find interesting is a technology they're proposing here is tactile touchscreens. So where you can where a system can produce tactile bumps on an actual glass touchscreen. So that's what I find interesting, is how would they probably do that, and what would be the ways to implement. One way obviously would be navigation, but like simulating UI elements tactily on the screen. This would be amazing. Or making games more interesting, or whatever. Why not make a camera app which does see what happens, with your phone's rear view camera, and broadcasts this image on the screen, then and makes it tactile. I mean, that would be crazy cool. That would be exciting, because that would help me, find lots of things within mobility, within just looking at the feeling the screen. So this technology is if it's gonna get to the real, because many patents won't. But if it's gonna end up here, I think it's gonna be very, very revolutionary.
Yeah, sure. But what I'm thinking about right now, as you were speaking, is, for example, if we would have such a tactile device, what would be a perfect screen size for that? Since we have to touch the screen.
I think it could be like depends on how would they do that, like what it would relay, because it cannot relay everything which the camera sees, or it cannot relay the whole visual UI tactilely. So it has to be a special thing. So I guess it would probably do it based on the screen size. So on the iPhone, it would be smaller, or on the Apple Watch it would be way smaller, and on the iPad you will have more room to work with. So yeah. But I think like this could potentially, if this technology would be solved and would come to reality, this could be huge potentials. I mean, for students using an iPad with their classmates, and when you're blind, having the same graphs, for example, or the same drawings being relayed to you tactilely using the same device which everybody else does, and same applications, all that would be great.
Oh, that would be really good. But let's wait and see what do they come up at the end. The second story is related to the Android users, because Android messages finally got their implementation with the web interface. So basically, what you can do if you own an Android device is you can pair your smartphone with your PC and send an SMS messages via their interface, which is web-oriented. I tested it and it works really nice. So that's really good if you are all the time in front of the computer, and if you're sending many messages, it's kind of very, very similar to the WhatsApp web. If anybody of you used that kind of thing, it's very, very similar, and it works very nice. So
it is accessible.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
There are some things in regarding to the learning of the layout, how the layout looks, but I mean, if you know how to use web applications, it's very easy.
How did you find the pairing process? Because the pairing process,
the pairing process is really
requires
easy.
QR code scanning at the moment.
Yeah. So it is QR code scanning. So the first time you initiate the session, so you say, okay, I want to connect my computer with the phone. Then it gives you the QR code, and you just basically you just point your camera of the phone towards your screen, your computer screen, and then it scans your QR code in few seconds. You're up.
So the advantage is that you can use your full keyboard to type away.
That's right. That's right.
And so it's not limited to Android phones, like iMessage is limited to Apple devices. This can work everywhere.
Well, it's possible to use. I don't know if Android messages.
You haven't got Android messages on iPhone though, because like you haven't got the app. I guess what you can. I don't know actually. Do you have to have the phone online? I mean, what I thought you could do is, yeah, we probably would, because it needs to be logged in, whatever. So you probably would need your Android phone to do that.
It's the phone handling the sending.
Yeah,
so
I think like Google tells
your computer as an external keyboard.
Sort of, yeah. So what I do like to do is, I'm running Mac now, and what I love about this, I get all my phone calls and messages on it as well. Because when I'm working with my computer, I don't want to take off headphones to take a phone call or something, and I like everything I can have summed to my laptop or to my computer or the device I'm using. So if I have a phone, I sort of don't want to pick it up to check notifications. Or if I have a phone next to me and somebody calls, I'm very good because I'm wearing headphones already. Maybe I'm very good taking this call on my phone or on my laptop. The same with messages. So I think so far it has been the case with just iMessage, which does work on the Mac as well. But now Android users are getting it on the web as well. So I think that is really great for people who probably have hard time typing as well on the touchscreen because it's not the easiest easiest thing to do. So yeah.
The next story says that Portugal became the first European country to include Braille on the passports. Yeah, that's a really nice news from the inclusive point. The thing is that they say that the one page will have a Braille in the passport, and you will be able to read all the things which you basically need. It's like your name and the expiration date of the passport. So this is great. I mean, there are some other countries which have similar projects going on, but they are not realized till this date. So basically, officially, Portugal became the first country to have that feature, and that's really nice.
So I'm curious how this will work. Will you have to request it, or will it be done for everybody? I'm really curious how they're going to produce the Braille, how the quality will be, because your passport lasts for 10 years.
Yeah.
Will it still be readable after some time? It's sitting in your wallet or so. So I'm wondering about how durable the Braille will be. I don't know if you guys have already ordered your disability card, if you are European disability
I have one.
Card, if you are.
Yep.
Have you seen the Braille on it?
No, we don't have Braille on it. What ours do, I'm not sure those are universally designed. I mean, every country, I think, has a little differences there. But in Estonia, we have a little tactile line, a little there, because otherwise the card would be very hard to distinguish of other cards. So what we had to do is there's a little tactile line which you can feel, and you know that's your card and which way it is pointing at, so you can give it to people.
Okay, that's interesting. We have the word disability card printed on it in Braille, but it's very funny because it's not regular Braille. It's like I guess it maybe looks nice, but it's like a bigger font Braille.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
So the dots distance is not respected. So it's readable since it's just two words, but I'm curious why they did this.
Just curious how it is in your country, because we had this long discussion on whether the card should include the type of disability you're having. Like some disabilities didn't want theirs included there, and we as a blind people said that we do want to have the card say that this person is blind, because some services and some discounts rely on that. So what was your case? Did you have any things about that, or was it kind of straightforward?
I was not involved in this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry.
I think with all the GDPR discussions, it would be strange to have it printed on a card what disability you have.
Okay.
I guess. So.
Yeah, we have got this. I am not from my top of my head sure whether it does it comply with GDPR, but over here, for example, you get some public transport discounts based on what disability and how heavy or hard it is for you. So so that's what we needed it for. But passports, it's interesting. I'm just wondering, when do we have blind passport service people working at the airports and checking our passports if we have it on Braille? That would be great, though. More job opportunities.
Absolutely. Actually, speaking of these disability cards, Bart, what you were referring is a new, it's actually quite new thing, which came out from, I think it was that Belgium was a initiator of that. And basically, this European disability card is supposed to be like universal card for any kind of disabilities. So you would not need to have specified what kind of disability do you have. It would. I mean, as far as I understood when I read that article a few months back, it said that like the end goal is to have like the one card for everything across the European Union, but this is like the still ongoing process in terms of each country and for adaptations of the rules and stuff like that.
It was like an opt-in, so countries could participate, and there was like I think they call it a pilot with 8 countries who mutually recognize this card, and it's supposed to help you as a traveler when you go abroad. You will have the same reductions or other advantages as local people with disabilities.
Right.
Because that was the problem they wanted to solve, is that many countries issue a national disability card. Some don't, some do. But if I travel with my Belgian card, someone in Croatia might not really believe that it's equivalent to their Croatian disability card.
Right. Yeah.
So I think the idea is good, and I understand it's as neutral as possible. But in Belgium, I don't see a lot of adoption already in the country. It's not that I cannot go yet to my swimming pool. I think they give reduction to people with disabilities, but they don't ask me for my disability card. And what this project is essentially interesting for, because when they see our canes, they kind of believe that we are blind. When they see a wheelchair, it's not too hard to prove that you are a person with disability.
Right.
But there are many hidden disabilities which you don't always want to disclose, but you will still need a guide or something for free or any accommodation. But you don't want to get in discussions with people about it. So I think it's a big advantage for people with a invisible disability.
That's good. Thanks for the explanation.
That's so good points for Portugal for having Braille.
Yeah, absolutely. This is great. And if there are some listeners from Portugal who are listening to us and who had the experience of seeing this kind of passports, please tell us how is it.
Yes.
Because we want to know.
Interesting.
The next news are again coming from the Android side this time. And what it says is that Google wanted to do some rebranding. So basically, those of you who used Google Talkback, now when you search for that, you will not find it anymore in the Play Store, because a bunch of apps are now called Google Accessibility Suite. So the Android Accessibility Suite has a Talkback, Switch Access, and Select to Speak. Yeah.
So I mean, this is great because Google has done a lot of things to make their services more accessible. Like they recently demonstrated an app which is able to describe you on via the phone's camera and via various other sensors. Where are you and what's ahead of you, reading documents, etc. So I think their commitment towards accessibility is improving every month. We have now new news, not to say every week. So I think the Accessibility Suite is a very good way forward to go from there, because now we have a lot of new tools as well combined into one system, and probably it's going to be easier for developers to make their apps and services more accessible on Android too.
You say that you don't download Talkback anymore from Play Store, but you have now an accessibility suite. Does it mean that it's included in Android operating system, or you would still download accessibility suite if it's not included on your phone?
Good question. So the thing is that from the Android 8, which was Android Oreo, which came out last year, most of the phones are supposed to have the accessibility implemented in, uh, which means that the talkback should be on the phone by itself. But the other thing is that what changed a lot since the previous Android versions is the way how do you start up the phone. If you're starting the phone for the first time, so you go to the shop and you purchase or you buy the phone online. When you get the phone, you press you do the long press on the volume button, which is usually located on the side, and you wait for a few seconds, and the phone should come up talking with the prompt, like saying if you want to have the accessibility turned on, please hold on the switch for a few more seconds. Hold on the button for a few more seconds, and then the speech comes on. However, if there are the cases where you have like an earlier versions of Android on the phone, because there are such phones still on the market, then there are situations where you need to search for the Google Accessibility Suite on the Play Store, and then when you find it, you download it and you have it on the phone. But as I said, with the newer phones, uh, which are Android based, most of them now should have TalkBack already pre-installed. So
I think the
that's great.
major producers or major phone companies probably do have it. If you are going to buy some kind of weird company's phone, I don't know, or very custom one, it might not have it because some companies do remove such things.
Yeah, they do.
But
There are some Android vendors which modify their operating system, and then sometimes it can break the accessibility.
But Google Accessibility Suite is available on the Play Store, so you just can go and download and make sure, because there's this thing as well. There's if the vendor has deleted accessibility functions and uninstalled TalkBack, it might be the case that they haven't thought about accessibility at all. So even if you download Google Accessibility Suite and install it, it might not work very well with this UI.
Yeah, because sometimes there are really these kind of cheap phones on the market regarding the Android. But speaking of the manufacturers on the phone, maybe some of the listeners don't know and they're not familiar with it. But I have to say that I became really surprised by the comeback of Nokia, who decided to adopt Android on their devices, because the thing is that now all the Nokia devices, doesn't matter which phone do you take and in which price range does it belong. All of the phones are now on running Android One as a platform, and that means that all the accessibility features are on the phone. And so basically, when you purchase the phone, you get the talkback up there, and yeah, you get it going and start learning how to use Android, which is good. So this is really nice. And just one more thing to add regarding this Android One platform, because the thing is that sometimes when you purchase the phone, it can be a really expensive phone, such as let's say Samsung. You get a phone which you paid like a lot of money for the phone, but the updates for the operating systems are coming in the very slow cycle, which is not the case, for example, with the Android One devices, and that's where Nokia devices are falling into. because the thing with Android One is that once the updates are being pushed from Google, the second devices which are receiving right after the Google devices are the Android One devices. So basically, like, if something new comes up, let's say Android 9 will come up probably this fall. Maybe a few weeks later, the users who are on Android One will receive it. So this is really, really nice. Okay.
So it's Android 1 and Android 8.
Oh yeah. Android One, yeah, it's kind of it can be a bit confusing because the devices, so the operating system which is there is called Android One, which is like subdivision of Android, but the main version of Android is connected to the current version of the operating system, which at the moment is Android 8.1.
So basically, what you get is some manufacturers like Nokia will use probably mostly the Android what Google gives them. They won't put their own user interface and functions.
That's correct.
There.
Yeah, that's correct.
That means also that when there are new updates, it's easier to install them. So, but for example, Samsung, who makes like their own kind of overlay on the Android, what Google gives them, means that when Google makes a new update, then Samsung has to work with it for a while until they can push it out to your phone. So that's why it's better to have something like Nokia will just get updates faster.
Yeah, correct.
I saw an announcement from Microsoft about artificial intelligence, which is, of course, the buzzword last months and weeks. So my first thought was that it's yet another marketing story.
Yep.
I do hope that it's a little bit more. They announced that they have a program for using artificial intelligence for accessibility. And I think that's not a vague claim, because last year they launched the Seeing AI app. Everybody who has an iPhone and who has never tried Seeing AI, please do, because I think it's one of the best apps available and the easiest and for free. So, which also started a little bit, as I understand, as a hobby project or as a personal initiative of one of the blind employees at Microsoft. And it turned out that thanks to this artificial intelligence, he could make this wonderful app. So that makes me believe that with this toolkit or what form it might take, that we can do much more. And Microsoft launched a program where they will grant money for new ideas. There is a call for projects, and what I found nice is that it's open to organizations, NGOs, and also individuals. So if you have a great idea how to use artificial intelligence to help benefit people with disabilities, this might be your chance to get this on Microsoft radar. I really find that they are opening up and they are much more listening to customers than before. So if you have a great idea, I would encourage you to fill in this little form. It doesn't take a big dossier. You never know that it gets on their radar. I guess we will include this link to the form.
Yeah, there will be a link in the show notes. So, yeah, I think that Microsoft really devoted a lot of time and in the last few years to accessibility improvements, and many new people, including few really very known blind people inside of our community, started working for Microsoft in their accessibility departments, and we are starting to see many new things which are eventually really good, which is like I found it really positive to get something out finally from Microsoft that we can that everybody who has a disability can use it and say proudly, "Yeah, I use Microsoft products." So,
I'm really glad as well. I mean, Microsoft has started to really shine in the accessibility field, as have actually many other companies, like Apple, obviously, but Google has done a lot of things as well. So I think like app accessibility is gonna get more and more into the mainstream companies' way of thinking and producing different software.
yeah, huge. How do you say it? Huge thank you to Microsoft. Yeah. All right, guys. So that's about it for our news updates for today. We are going to have one more demonstration of one very European-oriented product, but well, if somebody wants to use it, they can use it also in the States. It's going to be the demonstration of the Acoustica watch, and it's the watch for blind and visually impaired, which is especially being developed in Switzerland. So I do have the watch because I purchased it a few months ago, and the watch has a speech built in, but it's not pre-recorded speech. It's a speech which uses the TTS, and the watch is also vibrating, so it's possible to switch the modes if you're on some meetings or whatever, or if you're playing a show, if you're a musician and you're spending lots of time on stage, and everything is loud around you. You don't want to have your watch on your ear because you will not hear anything, so you can feel the vibration and see what's the time. So yeah, I'm going to talk about the watch, and there will be also demonstration of its app, how to use it, because it uses the app for synchronizing and adjusting the watch on the PC. So I will show the app as well.
Well, great. I think it's gonna be interesting. I want to hear it.
Okay.
But
All
from
right,
us, me and
so
Bart, I
that's
think it's thank you.
Yeah, that's it from the three of us for now. We are staying. We are just going for a summer break, and we will come back. Of course, if you want to get in touch with us, you are free to do it. Send us email, send us tweets on our Twitter account, and check out our show notes, which we update every episode for each episode. And yeah, we are looking forward to be back in 2 months.
Well, bye-bye.
Excellent. Take care.
Ciao.
Demo time. Time for a demonstration.
Today's demonstration will talk about a new product which is coming from Switzerland, from Swiss National Association for the Blind. And basically it's a watch. It's a watch called Acoustica Watch for All Senses. And what the guys at the Swiss National Association for the Blind have done, they've designed the watch for blind and visually impaired people, but also for deaf-blind population. And the reason why this watch can work also for deaf-blind population is because it's a vibrating watch as well, and it can speak. So the user can select which mode do you want to have it. So it can talk or it can vibrate. The watch itself is also rechargeable, so it uses its own charging station, which I'll talk about a little bit later, because this charging station can be connected to the USB port, and the adjustment of the watch can be done also through the computer and its own software called Acoustica Manager, which is absolutely 100% accessible for screen readers, and I will show you the software later so you can see how it works. Regarding the speech quality of the watch, it's one of the best from the talking watches what I heard, and the reason behind is because first it uses really good loudspeaker, and second, the watch is using TTS technology, so it doesn't have recorded voice prompts for the time like a bunch of these cheap watches which are speaking, but it uses TTS technology from a cappella group, and therefore when you order the watch you can select which language you want. Okay, so the look of the watch is basically more for male than for girls, because the watch is a bit bigger. It's about 40 millimeters wide. It's a round shape, and on one side there is a one button, and on the other there are two buttons. The first single button tells you the time and date when the watch is in the speech mode, and the other two buttons, if this watch is in the speech mode, gives you the possibility of setting the volume and the speed of the speech. If I press the single button once, it will say the following:
5:35 p.m.
Okay. If I press the same button and hold it for a few seconds,
Thursday, July 19th.
it gives me the day and the date. It doesn't speak the year, but in order to speak the correct date, it has to know correct year, and therefore when you are setting the watch you need to adjust the date and time as well. And the other two buttons, what I said, are used for adjustment of the loudness and the speed. So for example, if I press the right button once,
Softer,
it says softer. If I press again,
softer, softer, softer.
so you can hear that it goes softer, it's not so loud. And if I press the left button again,
Louder, louder, louder. Maximum.
and then it goes on maximum. If I press the same buttons, but if I hold them for a second, we can increase and decrease the speed of speech.
Slower, slower. Minimum.
That's a minimum. So if I press the time,
5:36 p.m.
alright. So I don't like to speak that slow. I like it on the fastest speed. So I'll do that.
Faster, faster. Maximum.
That's all.
5:37 p.m.
Alright. So that's the speed. The same buttons have multiple functions if the watch is in the vibration mode. So when we switch the watch to the vibration mode, then the first single button gives us the time, for example 5 o'clock or 17. The first button on the left gives us the 10th of the minute, so it will say if now it's 37, it will give me 3 short vibrating beeps, and the right button is for single minute announcement. So I'm going to switch the watch in the vibration pattern by holding the right and left buttons, and the watch will produce one vibration buzz. So I hope you will hear it. Okay, that was it. So now let me press first the button, the single button. So first you heard 3 long beeps and the 2 short ones, which means that each long beep is number 5. So 3 times 5 is 15, and 2 short ones means 2. So 15 plus 2 is 17. And then I'm going to press the left button. It vibrated for 4 times, so it means it's 40 minutes. And let's see what the right button says. Nothing for the moment, because it's 5:40. Okay. And basically that's how the watch functions in the vibrating mode. You need maybe few hours to get used to these vibration patterns, but once you get used to it, it's amazing. I have to say it's really I like it, and almost whenever I am out of house and everywhere, I use it only in the vibration mode. So let's check out what can we do with the watch when we connect the charging station to the port. So the first sample you're gonna hear is English USA female.
Welcome to Acoustica.
Then we have UK English male,
Welcome to Acoustica.
followed by German male voice,
Willkommen bei Acoustica.
followed by German female voice,
Willkommen bei Acoustica.
French female,
Bienvenue chez Acoustica.
French male,
Bienvenue chez Acoustica.
Italian female,
Benvenuto da Acustica.
Italian male.
Benvenuto da Acoustica.
So that's all. That's how the samples for the watch sound like. And when you get the watch, what you get with the watch as well is the SD card, which you can insert into your PC. And on the SD card you have the manual in digital format, as well as the Acoustica Manager, which you install on your PC, which is Windows PC, and the first time you run the program puts itself in the startup group, so it's launching every time you start Windows, and you can find it in the system tray. So I'm going to search for my Acoustica Manager.
Acoustica Manager button.
It's here.
Context menu. Exit E.
There is an exit,
Exit.
and there is the option to bring it up.
Close button. Acoustica Manager. Watch connected.
So I got the watch connected, and let's see, when we bring the Acoustica Manager up, what do we have? So first thing is
Close button focused invisible.
close button. Then if I press tab,
About button.
I have about. So let's press about.
About. OK button.
Okay, and we are going to read what it says.
About. OK button. www. For more information. Acoustica Manager. Top. Top. A computer tool to Acoustica Manager. A computer tool to manage your Acoustica wristwatch. Blank. For more information, please visit www.acousticawatches.ch.
Okay.
OK.
Thank you very much.
About button.
So that was the announcement about
Object
the
review.
watch.
Edit multi-line. 730 off.
And the first thing what we see from the settings,
730 off.
it says 7:30 off. That means that my alarm, which I set it previously, is currently off.
Alarm on button.
So I could turn it on if I press space.
Pressed.
Now it's turned on. I will go back.
Edit multi-line. 730 on.
So it says 7:30 on. Okay. I don't want it to ring tomorrow at 7:30, so I will turn it off.
Alarm on button. Alarm off button. Pressed. Ink alarm hours button.
This is increase alarm minutes.
Deck alarm hours button.
Okay.
Ink alarm minutes button.
Increase alarm minutes.
Deck alarm minutes button.
And decrease alarm minutes.
Edit multi-line. Serial A 2017 010351.
This is the serial number for my watch.
Edit multi-line. Firmware V01.06.
This is the firmware.
Edit multi-line. Voice English male.
This is the information about the voice which I have installed in the watch.
Edit multi-line. Vibration 24H.
Vibration is set to 24 hours mode.
Edit multi-line. Date 2018 0719.
The date is 2018 19th of July.
Edit multi-line. Time 17 hours 55 minutes and 49 seconds.
Time is as it is.
Edit focused invisible multi-line. Time 17 hours 56 minutes. I. Edit multi-line. Alarm 730 off. Edit focused invisible multi-line. Alarm 7 edit multi-line. Battery 4.17 volt full charging.
And it gives me the information about the battery. Is it charging or not, and what's the voltage status of the battery. So when we are finished with adjustments for the watch,
close button.
We go on to close.
About button. Close button.
And we press space.
Pressed. About button. Edit multi-line. Up. Close button. Press. Close button focused in. Desktop list.
And that's all from the Acoustica Manager software. Regarding the pricing of the watch, I have to say that the Swiss National Association for the Blind gave a discount for the blind and visually impaired people who live in Switzerland. So if you live there, you can get the watch on the discount, and then you pay about 200 euros per watch. It is possible to purchase the watch in few other countries, such as Germany, Denmark, and Liechtenstein, if I'm correctly informed. But it's the best to go on the site of the distributors to check out the pricing, because the pricings there are different. And also, if you want to know more about the watch, you can go to the website, which we will put in the show notes, and check out all the things which you want to know about the watch, and you can email the guys in the Swiss Association for the Blind and ask more questions about the watch if you want to purchase it. Thank you very much for listening. See you next time in the next demonstration.
Thank you for listening. This has been EBU Access Cast.